Biden administration proposes the 30% crypto mining tax. The administration of the U.S. President Joe Biden has proposed an excise tax. Is it excise? How do you pronounce that, Django? Excise?
I don't know.
Okay.
Are you on the Yahoo Finance article?
Yeah, it's like right there. I was just reading it. An excise tax.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
On cryptocurrency miners equal to 30% of the cost of the electricity they use, and plans to eliminate tax-deductible losses related to wash trading of crypto tokens, according to a U.S. Department of the Treasury's document published Thursday. By the way, this to eliminate tax-deductible law, like, why are we? This is absolutely insane. So you're not going to be able to get tax-deductible losses on your trading, like
that doesn't. Nothing about this makes sense. I don't know what their narrative is.
They're already charging you income when it comes in. They're charging you income when it comes in. Then if you hold it, they're charging you capital gains tax on top of that. And now they're saying if I have a loss, well, screw you. Doesn't matter. You still pay. You don't get that tax deductible now.
Yeah.
That is obviously like this isn't going to pass. I highly doubt it. But you guys should pay attention to the people that are trying to push these things through and vote them out, right? Because this stuff is insane. Fun facts, the Treasury Department said any company using computing resources owned or borrowed to mine digital assets will be subject to the 30% tax, which is expected to be introduced over 3 years in 10% annual stages starting from December 31st, 2023. Quote, the increase in energy consumption attributed to growth of digital asset mining has negative environmental effects and can have environmental justice implications, as well as increase energy prices for those that share an electricity grid, end quote, the Treasury Department said. According to the White House, the estimated global electricity usage for crypto assets is between 120 and 240 billion kilowatt hours per year, a range that exceeds the annual electricity usage of Australia. Of course, they're going to compare it to Australia. That's perfect. President Biden's 2024 fiscal year budget also included a proposal to apply wash sale rules to digital assets to close tax loopholes. Wash trading for tax purposes refers to investors selling a financial instrument for a loss to claim the deductible and then immediately buying it back. Crypto traders can claim tax-deductible losses and then immediately repurchase tokens as digital assets are not classified as securities, while stocks and bond traders are prohibited from repurchasing the same securities for 30 days. We have to classify that. So,
yeah, I know.
So let's talk about, because we don't even have a classification on this yet. Bitcoin now.
I know, it would be like maybe they could justify some of this stuff if they had what is it? Is it a property? Is it a digital asset? Is it a security? Tell us.
They've been saying Bitcoin is a commodity. So if I was just mining Bitcoin, it would go to say that this would not apply because it's not a security. However, if they decide to define Dogecoin as a security, then fine, apply whatever rules to Dogecoin as a security you want to apply it to. But if they're going to apply a rule that's typically applied to securities to something that's already been kind of stated as being a commodity, even by Gary Gensler himself, then it's not even fair. But none of this is equal across the board, because what we're seeing here, the problem is this is not just about mining cryptocurrency. This is about an invasion of privacy. This is saying we are going to look into what you are doing with your electricity and tell you whether or not you can do it. That's the end of story for me as a libertarian, where if you're going to come in and invade my privacy on what I'm doing with my electricity and adjust my obligation to the economy, then we've already gone way past what should be acceptable in law.
I think that people should have a right to secure their own property, right? Because if Bitcoin's your property, you have a right to secure it, especially with your electricity that you pay for. You know, they're not going to come and moderate what you use the electricity for on other things. It's just weird that they're singling out, like it's a huge invasion of privacy, because
Established in 2017, Octominer is an international mining hardware company. They manufacture and engineer the best mining equipment in the industry and supply rigs to some of the largest mining farms around the world. Their GPU mining rigs also integrate with the top crypto operating systems like HiveOS, MinerStat, and Simple Mining. All parts come with an international 1-year warranty. Exciting news! They will be adding ASIC miners for sale to their website soon and launching a new product built specifically for ASIC home miners. Please visit octominer.com or email support@octominer.com for questions.
There's no way for them to enforce this.
If you want to single it out for, because this doesn't even logically. Okay, let's just talk logically right now. If you wanted to single out energy sources for tax purposes, then do that. Say, okay, if it's coming from coal, right? We're gonna tax the company that's producing the energy that is produced by coal. Fine. Then that makes sense. If your goal is to influence or encourage people to move to renewables, if that's truly your goal, which is what they're saying it is, then you tax at the actual energy production side. They'll raise their rates, sure, right?
Yeah.
But it will also make people that don't want to pay those rates put their money into the renewable industry, which will then basically accelerate the technology within renewables, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's exactly where, like in Utah, the town I'm in gets everything from hydro. So that's why the energy is cheap where I live. And it's just like, it's already renewable. Like that the thing with hydro is if the power gets generated whether it's used or not, because they don't have batteries that store it. The water is going to turn those turbines whether people use it or not. So I'm using it. If I wasn't using it, it would just go away, into the power grid. That's not going to get used. So
right, and that's something I've talked about a lot before too. That the fact that cryptocurrency mining as a whole adds a ton of benefits to the grid by removing waste. So there's two things. I've always stated this, like in an economical situation, when we're talking about like country versus country, a society's ability to utilize energy efficiently is directly correlated with the success of that society. So if you have X amount, but you're X amount of energy, but you are wasting half of it, but you become whatever 30% more efficient because you've added in cryptocurrency mining, then that society will succeed over a society that continues to waste the total 50% of their energy or whatever, right? So none of this makes sense, right? If you just, like I said earlier, this doesn't make sense for so many reasons. One, because like where's all the energy coming to charge your electric cars, right? I'm waiting for them to come out and say that charging Teslas is environmentally bad, but charging electric Fords is fine. Because that's probably that's where we're getting in. This is just, it's that ridiculous, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what's
They're just gonna be like, we don't like Musk, so we don't like Tesla. Yeah. So if you're charging a Tesla, well, that's bad for the environment. But if you're charging a Ford, that's good for the environment, right? Why? Because Ford's in the government's pocket from all the bailouts. That's really what it is.
Yeah, and that's what I think that this whole because it doesn't make sense. They're really just trying to protect their friends or make their friends benefit from this in some way. We can only speculate what it is, but that's exactly what's happening. They're just pushing this so they can make money.
There's a new book. Hold on, I'm gonna get this book real quick because you guys need to see.
Is it called Software?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know exactly the book you're talking about. I don't have it yet, but it's on my reading list.
Yeah, so this book, Software by Jason Lowery. He's a good Twitter follow too. This is really going to explain to you guys too the danger of the United States rejecting Bitcoin. And there is potential, obviously, for Bitcoin to be utilized as a way for the rest of the world, at least according to this book, to move off of the US dollar as a reserve currency.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to really, adoption of Bitcoin does actually come down to, like I said, I think at the end of the day, success for the United States or for individual countries too. So I think whoever's going to implement it quicker to utilize it to basically stop wasting a bunch of energy and strengthen their renewable sources of energy and so on, I think are going to be a significant advantage. And everything that's happening from the federal government in the US right now is going against that. But it probably does come from fear of it replacing the US dollar as a reserve currency.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that makes sense, but it's just like they can't stop it. Because, I mean, all these other countries, they already want to get off the United States dollar. You know, they want to get off the dollar anyway, but there's not a good alternative. But now maybe they're waking up to the possibility of one that there is, because the petrodollar isn't, like, Russia does not want to use that at all. And so they're going to be doing their own thing.
Yeah. And I'll clarify, yeah, it was GM and as far as the auto manufacturers that received bailouts. I think Ford was one of the only ones that didn't. When you see the promotion of particular electric cars and the ignoring of other electric cars from the federal government, it becomes suspicious, I guess I should say. Right.
Yeah.
Which is what we're seeing, right? And it doesn't seem to be aligned based on the actual validity of the product as much as it has to do with something else that's going on behind the scenes. Whatever that may be, right? Lobbyists and so on. Even with the most recent adjustment to the requirements to push Tesla out of a lot of the rebates to where they had to adjust their price again to get back into the rebates. All of that stuff has been super skeezy in my opinion, but
yeah, they're all doing it just to get back at him because they don't like him, and
it's very weird. It went from everybody loves him to everybody hates him, purely I guess based on the Twitter thing.
I think that was really a tipping point because he's just making his views like public, and he exposed a lot of the stuff that Twitter was doing. You know, the government was paying them and all this stuff. It was just like, and he's just exposing it. Like, he's not, in my opinion, he's not like taking a side. He's just, but everyone thinks that he is. So it's just, that's why they don't like him. But
the idea that you are I don't know. There's a lot going on with that. We should probably save that for the Rumble local side.
Yeah.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Crypto Mining Show. You can check out the full episode here or more crypto content down here. Also, I'd like you to check out my locals page at sonofatech.locals.com where you can become a member for free or choose to be a $5 a month supporter that unlocks additional content.